It is time to breathe again on the latest breath of fresh air, Shorty. Glad you could catch this. I am your host, Charles Taylor, and I am here to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. So, as you guys know, I am currently living in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So, of course, this is huge news going on here in this area and around the nation because it's been a crazy week. If you are a Mavs player, anywhere in the Mavs organization, or a fan of the Mavs. So we'll just break down the events and then I'll just give you my general feelings on it. Number one, on Monday, there was a story that dropped from the Athletic that it said there's rifts basically between the front office and their young superstar player, Luka Doncic. So it comes with a guy. His name. Let me make sure I got his name right. Uh, Haralabos Vulgarius, I think, is how that is pronounced. If I got it wrong, I apologize. But I'll try to say it again. Haralabos Vulgarius, I think, is how it goes. Well, anyway, he is apparently the right hand man that owner Mark Cuban goes to when it comes to, I guess, personnel decisions and other things having to do with the organization, according to this story in the Athletic. And it is caused a rift, according to this story, between the front office and Luca. Now, that is the story that was out, but then all of a sudden as the week went on, now a bunch of shoes, big shoes, has started to drop. Wednesday, the general manager Donnie Nelson is gone. He's out. He's no longer the general manager of the team. Apparently they decided to part ways, him in the front office. And then yesterday, or on Thursday, head coach Rick Carlisle said he's not coming back as the Mavericks head coach. So, in a matter of days, you go from having a GM and a head coach that seemingly was in the future plans for the team to them not being there anymore. And now, today, you have the news that Dirk Nowitzki, of course, uh, the Mavericks Hall of Famer, and he'll be soon to be a Hall of Famer, I'm sure, up in Springfield, Massachusetts, up there in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Now he is joining the Mavericks as a special advisor to the team. So a lot has transpired there, and I guess my general feeling of it is hopefully with Dirk coming in, this will be kind of a stabling influence because man, do the Dallas Mavericks need it at this time. Number one, you have a superstar player in Luca who is eligible to sign the Supermax deal. Now, look, I feel like he's going to sign that deal. It's $40 million per year over the next 5 years. I feel like he will sign that deal. But apparently, he was not happy with how things were running, and he wasn't happy about the general manager in particular being gone, being fired, or in essence. And I don't know if it was necessarily a firing. Maybe it was a mutual part ways, but you never know what's going on behind closed doors. But Luca wasn't happy about a lot of the stuff. So maybe with Dirk coming in, that's gonna help kind of settle things out. Luca will sign that deal, and then they can begin the process of trying to build a championship caliber team around Luca. But with my general thoughts about these events that has come down from the athletic story coming out to today's news of Dirk Nowitzki joining the team as a special advisor, it really looks like they were in there was a lot of dysfunction going on with the team. And for the GM and the head coach to be gone in a matter of days, it kind of wonders. It makes you wonder about the atmosphere there in within the team. Now, if we're to believe how the stories broke out, And the headlines that were on the story, this is what really makes me wonder how dysfunctional the team is. Because it would be one thing if they said general manager Donnie Nelson, was fired, and head coach Rick Carlisle was fired. But a lot of the headlines out there said they, with general manager Donnie Nelson, they mutually agreed to part ways. Rick Carlisle just left. It was completely his decision to leave. So it would have been fair. Like if Rick Carlisle got fired, I think he's a very good coach. But the Mavericks, since they won the championship in 2011, they have not been past the first round of the playoffs since then. So it would be fair for somebody to say, hey, maybe it's time for the team to go in another direction. It doesn't look like Carlisle is getting the best out of the team. Now, granted, the rosters over the years have not been the best, but the last couple of years, you got knocked out by the LA Clippers uh, in the first round. So it would be fair if there was a discussion that was had and they said it's probably time for Carlisle to go. But for the headlines to say he is stepping down, then that really makes you wonder about what the hell Mark Cuban is doing. Now, everybody remembers that story that came from Sports Illustrated a couple years ago that was talking about the quote unquote, or I guess a paraphrasing, but basically it was a corrosive culture that was within the Mavs organization. You had guys just sexually harassing women in there, and it began a huge cleaning out process of people who were at the front lines of this. So between that and now this going on, it just makes you wonder how, like, really what is going on within the organization. This is something Mark Cuban really has to clean up. He with this, when the story came out with the Athletic, of course he was quick to say the story was total BS, and of course he didn't say BS. He said the full word. But I mean, between that story a couple years ago and now this, it, Mark Cuban's gonna have to start really cleaning up some things if he hasn't already. I mean, apparently he has because there was a lot of turnover with a lot of the staff, but these dysfunctional things continue to come out within the media, and cries for him to potentially sell the team. I don't see those necessarily going away too soon. Now, with him bringing in Dirk Nowitzki or as a special advisor, I think that will definitely calm the waters a little bit. And maybe with him being in there, to be honest, maybe that's what the Dallas Mavericks need. They need a guy who isn't too far removed from his playing career, who kind of has an understanding of what's going on with today's talent. And I think, as far as I know, he's pretty close to Luca as well. So you can have that calming influence, that guy who can kind of sit down with Luca, talk to him, and not just Luca, but some of the other players on the team. Definitely with Kristaps Porzingis, uh, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Brunson, some of these other younger players that are there with the team. And I mean, that's a question they're going to have to answer about Kristaps Porzingis if he's going to be with the team. I personally think he can be a good player. When he was with the New York Knicks before his knee injury he had suffered in a game against the Milwaukee Bucks, actually dunking on Giannis Antetokounmpo on that play where he messed his knee up. I think he can get back to that level, but whoever the new coach is coming in, they're gonna have to find a way to have those two guys coexist. Excuse me. So I think with Dirk coming in, this is definitely a calming influence, and I think it is badly, badly needed for the team and for sure the owner Mark Cuban, because I think with Dirk coming in, this might quiet some of those cries that were pretty loud yesterday. I would say for Mark Cuban to get a hold of this before it just spirals out of control. So we'll see how everything goes. We'll see how much of a role this Herabolos Bulgarius guy plays. I mean, I guess he's the director of quantitative research, which is basically another fancy word for analytics and statistics. But we'll see how everything turns out. But man, very, very, very tumultuous and hectic week for the Dallas Mavericks and their fans. But hopefully, with Dirk Nowitzki coming in, things will start to calm down a little bit, and then ultimately they can provide a product that can bring a title back here for the first time since 2011. Well, that is what I'm breathing on for today. Y'all make sure y'all check out the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. We will be back next week with more shorties, and the webcast is still supposed to happen on Tuesday night at 8 Central. We hope to see you there. Patrick Brackett should be with me as well. So until then, everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the games, and we will talk soon.